Here at MG Labs, we love making computers run absolutely lightning fast no matter what you're trying to load or do on your system. So how did we accomplish lightning fast speeds on a computer with older hardware? As you can see, I booted the computer less than 3 minutes ago. These applications have not been opened before, since rebooting anyways, and yet everything loads extremely fast. Even video games load in less than 5 seconds. So what is the secret to making the computer run so fast? Well, it's a dynamic memory cache. The SSD is so much slower than even DDR4 memory. So if you have extra RAM on your system, like I do in this case, oh, I am gonna die in this game. So the reason why a RAM cache is so important is because the CPU needs instructions, and loading them from the SSD takes a lot longer than loading those instructions from RAM. Now, you also need RAM for the rest of your system, so this is a dynamic and preemptive RAM cache. It automatically lowers the size of the cache to make room for the rest of your applications on your system that might need to use the memory for something else. But if you were to exit these games, for example, and I were to close out of all these applications that I just opened, we're going to notice a huge reduction in memory usage right here, and now it's going to automatically start filling the cache back up dynamically. It's going to always leave a 5 gigabyte buffer, and if it has less than a 5 gigabyte buffer, it'll actually start shrinking the cache to make room for the rest of the applications running on your system. So if I were to open my massive local AI model, it's going to load it into DRAM and then load it into the GPU. This is going to load a massive 7 gigabytes worth of data into memory. We're going to notice a spike here, but the system immediately detects that a spike is occurring and starts lowering the RAM cache immediately to make room for it, and the system loads just fine. Now, if we were to close out of this, the RAM cache is going to, have more room again and start filling back up. Right now, it's already filling back up because it overcompensated a little bit, which is what it's supposed to do when there's a spike. It overcompensates and makes sure there's plenty of room available. But now it's going back up to baseline. Now, if I were to exit out of this entirely, we're going to have a 7 gig drop in memory, and it's going to need to fill that back up again in order to make room for all of the speed that we had originally. So it's fully automatic, fully dynamic, and it's never going to be a problem even with very massive RAM spikes. Now, the more RAM you have on your computer, the faster this effect will be. But essentially, any application that you want to load will load within seconds, constantly. And that is how computers should be. And this is not because I have a really fast processor. I have a Ryzen 9 3900X. That is far from the fastest CPU in single-core or multi-core performance. Most of the time, a computer is bottlenecked by storage more than anything else. Even if you have an SSD, even a Gen 5 SSD, it's way slower than even last-gen DDR4 memory. So if you can have most of your system files, lots of tiny files that your system needs to access, stored in RAM preemptively for all of your desktop applications that you're going to use frequently, things will load much faster on a daily basis and save you a lot of time.